Hello students, now we will go through remaining defects in the tablet. So after capping, lamination, cracking and chipping, the next defect is sticking, which is also called as binding. Here the tablet material adhere to the die wall. Thus this defect occurs cause of die. There are various reasons behind sticking or binding. The first in this is improperly dried granules. If the granules will not be properly dried, there will be presence of large quantity of moisture in the granule, and then that moisture can cause sticking. In order to avoid the sticking due to improperly dried granules, you can dry the granules properly, make the moisture analysis and determine the limit of moisture, that is the percentage of moisture to be present in the granules. If there will be excess amount of the moisture, dry the granules. Next reason behind sticking is too little or improper lubrication. So lubricants are the material which are added in the formula in order to avoid sticking of granules or tablet to the die wall. If those lubricants are present in little quantity or improper lubricant is added, then sticking can occur. In order to avoid the sticking due to this reason, increase the quantity of lubricant or use the proper lubricant. Next reason behind sticking or binding is too much binder. If binder quantity will be more, then sticking can occur. In order to avoid the sticking due to larger quantity of binder, you can reduce down the quantity of binder. Next reason behind sticking or binding is presence of hygroscopic material. Hygroscopic materials are those material which can absorb the moisture from atmosphere, and due to this moisture then sticking can occur. In order to avoid the sticking or binding due to presence of hygroscopic material, you can modify the formula or compress the tablet in controlled humidity condition where the humidity will be less, so that moisture will not be absorbed by hygroscopic material. Next reason behind sticking or binding is presence of oily material. So these oily materials can cause sticking. In order to avoid the problem of sticking due to oily material, you can use the absorbents or you can modify the formula. The last reason behind sticking or binding is the presence of waxy material. Waxy material have the low melting point, and due to the generation of heat during compression process, these low melting point substances get melted, and due to the sudden melting and cooling process during ejection, this sticking can occur. So you can replace the low melting point substances with high melting point substances in order to avoid the sticking cause of waxy material. Next defect in the tablet is picking. Here the small portion of the tablet may get removed cause of sticking of the tablet to the punches. So picking occurs cause of punches as shown in the diagram. There are various reasons behind picking, and two main out of that are presence of rough or scratched punches and presence of embossed punches. So the first is presence of rough or scratched punches. If the face of the punch is rough or scratched, then some of the portion of the tablet may remain adhered in that scratched or rough portion, and then the picking can occur. You can polish the surface of punches so that there will be high luster, and then the problem due to rough or scratched punches can be avoided. Next reason behind picking is presence of embossing of the letter like B, A, O, R, P, Q, G, which has small portion inside of the letter. In order to avoid the picking due to this embossing, you can make the letter as large as possible, and also you can plate the punch surface with chromium so that the surface will be smooth and the picking will not occur. The remaining reasons behind picking are nearly same as that of sticking. The first in this category is excessive moisture in the granule. This is also the reason behind sticking. So presence of excessive moisture in the granule can cause both the sticking and picking. In order to avoid the picking due to presence of moisture, you can dry the granules and determine the optimum limit of moisture. Next reason is too little or improper anti-adherent in the formula. Anti-adherent are the material which are used to avoid the sticking of granules or the tablet to the faces of punches. So if the quantity of anti-adherent is less or there will be improper anti-adherent in the formula, then this problem can occur. In order to avoid this problem, you can increase the quantity of anti-adherent, or you can use the proper anti-adherent. Next reason behind picking, which is also there for sticking, is presence of low melting point substances. If low melting point substances are present, then those substances will get melted because of the high heat which is generated during compression, and due to then sudden melting and cooling, the picking can occur. So you can replace the low melting point substances with high melting point substances in order to avoid the picking because of this reason. If there will be too much amount of binder, then also picking problem can occur. In order to avoid this problem because of high quantity of binder, you can reduce down the quantity of binder. Next defect in compressed tablet is mottling. As you all know, this is nothing but unequal distribution of color on the surface of tablet with the light or dark spots on the surface. There are various reasons behind mottling. The first is that a colored drug used along with colorless or white excipients. So if the drug is colored and excipients are colorless or white, this problem can occur. The problem can be avoided by using the proper colorant of the same color of the drug. So drug and the colorant should have same color, then the presence of light and dark spots on the surface of tablet can be masked using that colorant which you will add in the formula. Next reason behind mottling is migration of the dye on the surface of granulation while drying. So if the dye is present, then during drying process with the evaporation of the solvent, the dye may get migrated on the surface of tablet. In order to avoid this problem, you can change the solvent system. That means instead of using highly volatile solvent, you can use low volatile solvent. You can reduce the drying temperature, or you can use the smaller particle size of the dye. Next reason behind mottling is improperly mixed dye, especially during the direct compression. So if the dye will not be properly mixed, if the color will not be properly mixed, then this problem can occur. The problem can be avoided by mixing the color properly, reducing the particle size. Next reason behind mottling is improper mixing of the colored binder solution. So if the colored binder solution will not be mixed properly, then also this problem can occur. So incorporation of the dry color additive during the powder blending step, then addition of the fine powder adhesive such as acacia and tragacanth and mixing well, and finally adding the granulation liquid can avoid this problem. Last problem in tablet compression is double impression. Double impression is caused by those punches which have monogram or engraving on them. If the punch rotates during compression, then the double impression can occur. Thus, this problem can be avoided by using the anti-turning device for the punches. Thank you.